The Constitution. Track 1. The Introduction. The Constitution is the supreme and final law in the United States. It was adopted by the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia on September 17, 1787. The primary author was James Madison of Virginia, later to be Secretary of State under the third President, Thomas Jefferson, and to succeed him for 2 four-year terms as President from 1809 to 1817. Track 2. Early American History. The Document Timeline. The Constitution was the third major federal document emerging from the Revolutionary War period. First, the Declaration of Independence, stating intent in 1776. Then the Articles of Confederation in 1781, organizing the states in early federal or national form. 2 earlier Virginia documents influenced the proceedings: the Statute of Religious Freedom in 1786 and the Virginia Plan or Large State Plan itself. Jefferson authored the former and Madison the latter. Track 3. Drafting and Ratification. Drafting started 3 years before the final adoption in 1786, 3 years after the British acknowledged losing their war against the colonies, the United States of America. Commissioners, or the leaders of 5 states, met in Annapolis, Maryland, a central spot in the 13 colonies, to discuss adjustments and changes believed necessary to the then operating Articles of Confederation, especially regarding commerce. These 5 invited state representatives to meet in Philadelphia to discuss improvement to the Articles of Confederation. 6 months later, delegates from all states but Rhode Island attended a conference in May 1787 to discuss this and any other subjects on the delegates' minds. The resolution called for the convention specifically stated the purpose was to draft appropriate amendments to the articles then in full force and effect. The Philadelphia Convention voted to keep the talks secret and to draft a new design later memorialized in the Constitution. They also stipulated that only 9 of the 13 states needed to agree to launch a new federal government. Any non-signer would not be a member. This was done to remove any state from using their veto power to extort unreasonable concessions. The Virginia Plan, written primarily by James Madison, was agreed to serve as the foundation for the new proposed Constitution. Its interests were weighted towards the interests of larger states with proportional representation in the House of Representatives and in the Electoral College that got it for the presidential election, but retained a break on the larger states in the Senate by having 2 senators per state, regardless of population then or later. The main proposals were a 3-branch system of government with a strong president, legislature, balanced by a strong federal judiciary with lifetime appointments to protect their objectivity. Madison was personally concerned about giving so much power to a judiciary, but came to appreciate this balancing mechanism more when president and in retirement. Delaware ratified first, followed quickly by Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. Maryland and South Carolina came next, and New Hampshire was the 9th ratifier, which put the federal government into business. Virginia and New York followed shortly thereafter on close votes. North Carolina held out 16 months more until November 21, 1789, when George Washington was already in his first term of office as president. Rhode Island didn't ratify until over 6 months later on May 29, 1790, and by only 2 votes, 34 to 32. At this point, all 13 states had ratified. Track 4. Historical Influences on the Constitution. James Madison, the author of the Constitution, strongly believed in the need for checks and balances in government to control warring factions, as he called them. In 1788, Madison wrote 40% of the Federalist Papers, which earned him the further respect of the delegates to the convention in Philadelphia.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?